Good day all. Today I'm going to teach you the lesson 3 of your Footprints Without Feet. That's your supplementary. The Midnight Visitor by Robert Arthur. Robert J. Arthur was born on November 1909 in Kuwait City, Philippines. He was a writer of speculative fiction, that is, he writes beautiful mystery stories, and he was also awarded twice by the Mystery Writers of America. Now, coming to this particular lesson, it is just like your ninth standard poem, If I Were You. Okay, so it is some similarity, and sometimes you get questions based on that particular lesson also. So over here there are two agents. Agents are detectives, two spies who have a kind of jealousiness. Not both. One has got jealousiness on the other because the other's news and collection of facts are very, very powerful, and he doesn't like everyone liking that particular agent. So over here the two characters, the two detectives' names are, one is Mac, who is very, very jealous, who is a very rude kind of a person, who is very smart to look at, who is very handsome too. On the other hand, Austin, the hero of the story, is very, very ugly, has got no shape to say. He is very fat. He knows many languages. He speaks a different kind of a slang when he speaks the American, and he always loves to collect facts which has got strength and power in it, and his newspaper always runs on his facts. So now when someone is very, very popular, or when someone is getting up very lauds and very getting good appreciations, there are people who are jealous of such people. Yes, so over here Austin was so perfect in his work. Though he was not good looking, he always had 2 to 3 girls beside him, just like any English movie. Okay, and he was a different kind of a detective. He never goes to the place in person to find out anything, but he just gets information just like that over his phone calls. So this particular person is little different from any other detectives have you seen or heard. He is like, he loves to get things. He stays in a French hotel, and what do you call, he loves to woo women without doing anything. He was perfect in it. And there was a writer, a romantic novel writer, Fowler, who wanted to write about Austin in her novel. She wanted to depict a weird kind of a detective who is very, very famous in his work. So over here, Austin, as I said, Austin Ausable, he loved to be good in his own way towards women specifically. So as he was staying in a French hotel, this particular writer, whose name was Fowler, she came to see Ausable. She was like, as soon as she saw him, she was like, is he the man whom I came to meet? Because he was really fat, and a sloppy fat. There's no particular feature of his, there's no particular figure of his. Okay, his room was at the top and 6th floor of a musty and a gloomy, a dull looking kind of a hotel. So both of them, when they entered into the room, Ausable switched on the light, and what do they see? They were surprised to see a man with a gun in his hand, and he was this particular other agent, Max, who was very, very jealous. And he also came to know that Ausable has got some very important, very, very important documents with him, with which he is gonna become more popular. Now Max wanted all those documents in his hands, and he knew very well that it is not that easy to get those like Ausable. So he had entered into his room somehow, and he was actually trying to collect the information. But when he saw Ausable and a woman entering in, he took out his gun and he was ready to even shoot. Now he said that he had come there to snatch the report from Ausable, where he was expecting to receive. So he was going to get some more information from outside. Ausable, as I said, he never goes to any place to get anything. He sits in a place and he gets his work done. So Max knew that there is some more important information which is gonna come to the hotel, and so he came there and he was waiting for that particular person. Oswald was so cool because he always knows how to get his work done sitting in a place. So don't you think that he might be intelligent more enough to handle a situation like this? So over here he was very cool and stable, and he was looking at Max as if he was no way afraid, because he was really not afraid. Yes. So he seemed to be angry with the management of the hotel actually. Like, how did someone give him a keys to enter inside his hotel room? Now he started to think about something very fast in his mind. So he started to make stories like as if he had a balcony. There was no balcony in Oswald's room. It was a very gloomy and an old kind of a hotel which has only one room where you can sit, stay and sleep. That's it. So what did he do? He immediately made up a story about a balcony being outside this, attached to his room. So he immediately told Max, see, the way you came inside from my balcony, I know you would have definitely come from the balcony only, you might have not come from the main door. And Max was also acting as if whatever Oswald was saying was true, because he didn't know where to and how to escape also now, because he has entered from the main door only inside. Yes, so he told him that there was a balcony just right under the window which you can see there, and he knew that it had come from that particular place only. And last month also some unknown person was hiding in the balcony and tried to enter into his room to steal things. So when he was saying this particular thing again and again, Max made up his mind that he can escape through that particular way if something goes wrong. Now Max told Oswald that he had used a master key to enter into the room. So now he wished that he could have, now he was thinking inside, maybe I could have entered through the balcony instead of showing up myself. Now the hotel people also know me. If something happens in this particular room, they will doubt only me. He was having some mixed thoughts in his brain. So there was still some half an hour time for the report, which has to come into the hands of Oswald. So Max thought that he will make something, he will start wasting time till then so that he can grab the report once it comes into the hands of Oswald. Then suddenly someone knocked at the door. Now Oswald smiled, okay, as if he knew who was outside the door. He said that it must be a police, because he himself had called, because he had to have some protection, because the report which is going to come is very, very important, a very confidential one. So he wanted some protection. Okay, so now Max was very nervous. He didn't know what to do. So he thought that now he will escape because there's a balcony. So he opened the window and jumped through the window to the balcony to go and hide there. But there was no balcony as Oswald had told. He had actually planned, because he knows that Max looked literally a fool and he can be fooled easily. If he was clever, he could have get the reports in his own way instead of coming like this and showing up a gun and even telling the truth that he had taken the master key of the Oswald's room. Now he fell down from the 6th floor. As I've already told you, Oswald was staying in the 6th floor. There was no balcony. He opened the window and he jumped out of it. Yes, then the door opened. Who was there? There was no police. He had actually called the waiter, the room service, to get 2 drinks for himself and Fowler, and he knew that within 5 minutes the waiter is going to come and knock the door. That is why he immediately made up plans like the police coming outside, a balcony before itself, yes, which can make Max to jump out of the window. As I've already told you, Oswald is a very crooked kind of a detective who can sit in his place and get things done. So over here, he had actually get rid of a competitor like Max. Though he was a fool, he was a competitor of the other newspaper. So Fowler did not know anything about the balcony being there or not. So he feared that if he doesn't, Oswald also feared that if he sent away Max now, somehow he would come back. So over here, Ausable told him the fact that he made a fact so that he would never ever return. So so Fowler, who was watching all these things happening, understood that how Ausable, being a sloppy fat man, had such a charm and intelligence to do two things at a time. One, getting rid of his competitor without any problem. Now even if police comes by, they will come and ask, they will never ever come and question Ausable, because they will understand that Max had stealthily got into his room, and when he was trying to open the door, he got afraid and he jumped off from the window because he had come there to steal his important reports. At the same time, his reports were safe because Max believed whatever he told him and killed himself. So Fowler understood what kind of a charm Ausable had in him. So this particular lesson actually tells us how to use our presence of mind. We should never panic when something of this sort happens in our house. If a thief enters into the house, or something happens like that, we have to have a presence of mind to save ourselves, so that you can go and save yourself and move away from that situation without hurting yourself in any way. Hope you liked the lesson. Read the lesson once again so that you will get a good idea, and also remember your 9th standard lesson, If I Were You, to make both the lesson go parallel ways, so that you will get questions like how do you think this particular lesson goes side by side with If I Were You. Take care, stay home, stay safe. Bye.